Sahana bhavatu, Sahanau bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Shri Ramanaya. Hari Om. So we saw in verse number 34, when scriptures say Tattvam Asi, please see the import of that and abide in that truth. That's all. Any discussion about that should be prior to getting that understanding. All the discussion is only for instructional purposes. Once the instruction is over, Upadesha is over, and you have gained that knowledge, just be established in the truth. No more discussions. While learning and teaching, no problem. You can have any amount of questions, doubts raised, clarifications. All discussions are okay while learning. When that job is complete, no more need to talk. Be that. People love to have discussions, arguments, debates. There is such a joy in the intellectual gymnastics. So Bhagavan said, do not indulge in such intellectual gymnastics. No doubt, it's enjoyable. You should enjoy learning. That's not the point. But once that is done, do not get caught up in that. Do not forget the very purpose. All discussions should give you clarity. It's for gaining clarity. Once that is known, be in that truth. Once accomplished, put a lid on it, as they say, and be the truth. So continuing that, let us see today, verse number 36. Prāpya saddhāma nijasvarūpe. Prāpya saddhāma nijasvarūpe. svabhāva-siddhe'nupalabhya niṣṭhām. svabhāva-siddhe'nupalabhya niṣṭhām. māyāvilāsaḥ sadasat-svarūpa. māyāvilāsaḥ sadasat-svarūpa. virupanānaika-mukha-pravādah. virupanānaika-mukha-pravādah. Together. Prāpya saddhāma nijasvarūpe. svabhāva-siddhe'nupalabhya niṣṭhām. māyāvilāsaḥ sadasat-svarūpa. virupanānaika-mukha-pravādah. So the approach to the study of Vedanta is eliminate all the attributes from the self-evident I. As we saw in one of the earlier classes, I am, and then ... We always add something to I am. All that addition should be dropped. Just I am. I. That's it. Attribute removal. or washing off process of all the dot. That is the aim of Vedanta. So if a person does not do that primary thing, study of Vedanta will become another academic exercise. A person should remove all labeling. All labels should be removed. In fact, what Vedanta says is, all our struggles in life, other than the study of Vedanta, what we are struggling with is just to change the attributes of life. I am whatever. That whatever is what we are trying to change all the time. Anything that we do is only trying to change that. One attribute or another. We want to change something that I have or I do, something that defines me right now, from the present to something in the future I want to change. When a person wants to earn money, we think the struggle is for earning money. Really speaking, the struggle is to change my attribute from the poor I want to become a rich I. So I seek money as the means. When someone wants to get married, struggle is not for marriage per se, but to change my label from a single person, from a bachelor to married. Struggling to get a children, I want to become from a husband, then I want to become a father or mother. All the troubles of samsara are this dabbling in various attributes, labels. The one who has understood Vedanta will not struggle anymore to change anything, because that part of it is chopped off. It's not there anymore. Because he knows he is attributeless consciousness. From that, attributes need not be deleted, and no new ones need to be added. I am, period. This is the aim of Vedanta. If you lose sight of this, then the Vedantic study will become another part of samsara struggle. I am a great Vedantin. I study Vedanta to be labeled a great Vedantin. So none of that. Even to say, I want to become a mukta purusha. I want to be a liberated jnani, jivan mukta, all that. That is also what? You want to be a mukta because you want to change yourself from being bound to being liberated. That is also samsara. There is no bondage or liberation for Atma. Na nirodho na chotpatti, na baddho na sadhaka, na mumukshuhu, na mukta ityesha paramartata. We saw that in Amrita Bindu Upanishad. There is no stopping, no control, no creation, not bound, nothing. So no need to be a seeker also. Na mumukshuhu, not the one who is seeking freedom. And na vimuktaha, not the one liberated. None of that. Otherwise, I would say I have understood Vedanta, but still I cannot say I am liberated. Therefore, Ramana Maharshi warns, do not convert this Vedantic study into another form of samsara. Don't make it that. He says, hrit prāpya A student must enter his heart, turn his attention inward to his heart. Heart means mind here. So the aim of Vedantic study is to deliberately turn the attention to the mind. This mind is saddhāma, is the abode, the locus of sat, existence, consciousness, principle, reality. That is its locus. The mind is said to be the abode of consciousness, because consciousness is present in the mind as the witness principle. The witness of the presence of thoughts and the absence of thoughts, everything. When thoughts are there in the mind, I am conscious of them. And when there are no thoughts, when the mind is blank, I am conscious of blankness. When I say that, the mind is not really blank. There is consciousness aware of the blankness. Therefore, in the mind, the Sakshi Chaitanyam is there as the witness of presence and absence. Turn your attention to the self-evident consciousness and having prāpya, having gone there to the mind. How to turn your attention? Turning attention to consciousness is not looking for consciousness or awareness, but entertaining the thought that consciousness is me, myself. Turning attention means entertaining an appropriate, relevant thought. Here that thought is the witness conscious is not an object, but it is me, myself. I am the consciousness that is aware of the presence. I am the consciousness that is also aware of the absence of thoughts. That is what is said in Bhagavad Gita. Atma samstam manakritva nakinchit api chintayet. Manakritva means entertain the thought aham chidrupaha chidanandarupaha shivoham shivoham. That is a thought we have to entertain. Thought, knowledge and meditation, and not thoughtless, but entertaining the appropriate thoughts. Who am I? I am the consciousness. All attributes that follow I am to describe me do not belong to me. Na me dvesha ragau, na me lobha mohau, madonaiva menaiva matsarya bhavaha. None of that. These are all thoughts regarding the attributes. They do not belong to me. They are all mithya. They are all false. They do not touch me. They do not contaminate me. They do not taint me. I have nothing to do with them. I have to entertain thoughts such as Name dvesha ragau, name lobha mohau in meditation. Okay. This is in the process, not having got there. Thought to be entertained is Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. This is called getting there to the Atmanishta, getting that abidance in the self. The entertainment of these thoughts that the attributes do not belong to me, they are false and they do not taint me, and the witness consciousness I am. This is the process for Atmanishta, abidance in the self. Abidance has to go through that. It's not a physical action. Therefore, Bhagavan says, niṣṭhām upalabhya, one should attain or come to this abidance. The word used in this verse is actually anupalabhya. I will come to that word later. Now let us just take upalabhya. one who has to get this niṣṭhā, abidance, nijasvarūpe, in one's own real nature, and that is svabhāva-siddha, that is naturally evident. I am a conscious being is evident even coming to Vedanta classes. Before coming to Vedanta classes, you all know you are conscious. You do not have any doubt about it. Then the contribution of Vedanta is all the attributes I attach to myself, I am not. They are all false vittiḥ. They don't belong to me, they don't touch me, they don't taint me. Okay. Entertaining that thought is niṣṭhām. This is the purpose of Vedanta. It is not to get another title. I am a Vedantic scholar. No. This niṣṭhā is this abidance in the self is what we are looking for. Now Ramana Maharshi wants anupalabhya, without getting this abidance, pravada, scholarly exchange, and discussions are a waste of time. Without gaining abidance, after gaining the knowledge, but before gaining the abidance, any amount of discussion, it is all pravada, prattling, blabbering. One may have a PhD in Vedanta, and he is complaining about his spouse, children, and all that. That's because he has not gained the truth that Vedanta espouses. So he continues to say, I am Brahman, while he is crying. So Bhagavan strongly criticized the academic scholars of Vedanta. He calls all this māyāvilāsaḥ. This is another success of Maya. Maya is so successful that it made Vedanta study itself into another samsara trip. Vedanta, which is a medicine for samsara, is now made into a source of samsara by Maya. We all have to watch this. He gives some example of such discussions. Sat, asat, discussion into whether it is sat or asat. He said satyam or mithya, debate. One such debate. Other debates like sarupa or virupa, with form or formless. Nana eka, is it many or just one? Dvaitam, duality, or advaitam, non-dual. So many debates are there. All these debates are fine if they lead to niṣṭhā. Before knowledge. Once the knowledge is gained, you have to abide in it. But if you continue the discussion but not get the abidance, that's a fruitless endeavor. So regularly ask the question, am I using Vedanta for changing my attitude towards myself? Am I using Vedanta for changing my understanding of myself? When I do not transform myself, we become bad role models for promoting Vedanta. So he said, sadasat sarupa virupa nanaika mukha pravada. All such prattling is māyāvilāsaḥ. So glory of Maya, not the glory of Vedanta. When you keep on discussing like this, without getting the abidance. So this verse should be read with 34th verse. Okay. Bhuyo vicharo mati durbalatvam. Same idea was conveyed in that verse. Now, all this again and again studying Vedanta without abidance is indicative of the weakness of the mind, a weak mind. Do not make it another dependence. Do not make Vedanta another crutch for the mind. Abidance in the truth. That is most important. That abidance is Saddarsanam. Very important point. That transformation should be there. That abidance, establishment in the truth should be there. Continuing verse number 37. Siddhasya vittiḥ sada eva siddhiḥ. Siddhasya vittiḥ sata eva siddhiḥ. Svapnopamānāḥ khalu siddhayo'nyāḥ. Svapnopamānāḥ khalu siddhayo'nyāḥ. Svapnaḥ prabuddhasya kathaṁ nu satyaḥ. Svapnaḥ prabuddhasya kathaṁ nu satyaḥ. Sati sthitaḥ punareti māyām. Sati sthitaḥ punareti māyām. Together. Siddhasya vittiḥ sata eva siddhiḥ. Svapnopamānāḥ khalu siddhayo'nyāḥ. Svapnaḥ prabuddhasya kathaṁ nu satyaḥ. Sati sthitaḥ punareti māyām. Here Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi removes another big misconception. Another misconception regarding self-knowledge and liberation. There is a widely held misconception. People think self-knowledge and liberation is a mystic experience. And realize wise people are taken to be mystics. They don't even use the word knowledge. Instead, they use words like realization, enlightenment, and such other bombastic words. The real truth is, there is no mystery. Nothing mystic about self-knowledge. It's a simple and straightforward understanding that takes place in the intellect with the help of Guru Shastra Upadesha. It's a knowledge that involves a thought modification that takes place in the intellect. People do not want to admit it as a simple intellectual cognitive process. They want to raise it to a realm of mystic experience. Once you take knowledge and liberation to a mystic realm, extraordinary powers also get associated with that. They expect a wise person to be a mystic. You should have siddhi, extraordinary powers, supernatural powers. It's very unfortunate that people think liberation is connected with all kinds of siddhis. And if somebody is there who is not exhibiting all these siddhis, he is no good. He is not wise man. He is not liberated. He is not enlightened. No, no. That's what they think. Bhagavan very clearly says this self-knowledge or liberation has nothing to do with siddhis. All that siddhis belong to anatma, mithya world. That is part of mithya. Nothing to do with self-knowledge. We do not question the existence of such extraordinary powers. We are not dismissing them. All that we are saying is those powers and self-knowledge do not have any connection at all. Atma-jnanam and those siddhis, they are not related. That's the point. We need to very clearly understand. There can be an ignorant man, an ignorant person with mystic powers. There can be one without mystic powers as well. Similarly, we can have a person of self-knowledge with or without mystic powers. All four combinations are possible. Regardless, liberation is where knowledge is. Atma-jnana is a prerequisite. With that knowledge, abidance in that self, you are liberated. The supernatural powers, siddhis, may be there, may not be there. Powers have nothing to do with liberation. In fact, powers are indeed mithya. They cannot give moksha. In fact, they will add to samsara. How should a Vedanta student, an aspirant, how should he view all these siddhis? As I said first, we do not say that they are not there. We accept the extraordinary powers. They are possible. Okay. We don't have any quarrel with that. It is there. We accept. We are not here to dismiss all that. That is not our objective. But more importantly, we should know that the siddhis have nothing to do with spirituality. That is the most important point. They do not have any connection at all. There are many siddhas who are not spiritual at all. In fact, quite a few of them are non-ethical, immoral. Many asuras, Puranic stories, they were siddhas. They had all these extraordinary powers. And they abused their siddhis for evil purposes. Okay. So this is something we need to keep in mind. Then, the third point is that we have to know that all siddhis come under karma or upasana phalam. Okay, those are the results. They are all products of karma or upasana. So they fall under maya or samsara only. They are created. They are effects. So they fall under that maya realm only. Very important point. Then the fourth and most important point that Ramana Maharshi highlights in this verse, if a person does not understand the limitations of siddhis, he will get distracted by them in his spiritual pursuits. This is what is most important for us. Don't get fascinated by all these siddhis. Do not get attracted to siddhas. You should be inspired by jnanis and jnana, not by siddhas and siddhis. A Vedanta student must be motivated by jnana and jnanis who have that jnana. You need to go to that jnani and seek that jnanam. Instead, if you get attracted to, fascinated by a Siddha Purusha, go to him. He will not be able to give you jnanam. He may not even be able to give you the siddhi. Don't be enamored by siddhis or the siddha and the siddhas. Do not take any interest, do not value any of those siddhis. Ignore them completely. Understand that the greatest siddhi, the greatest accomplishment that one can achieve is self-knowledge. All other siddhis, accomplishment will make a person, will keep him in samsara. They will not liberate you. They are all the results of some karmas or upasanas. No use, no good. They will only bind you. They will not liberate you. Self-knowledge is a unique accomplishment because it liberates you. Jnani alone is the ultimate siddha. Please remember this. Look at the verse. Siddhasya satah vittiḥ eva siddhiḥ. The real siddhi, miracle, if you want to call that, don't even call that miracle, is vittiḥ eva, nothing but knowledge, the right understanding. That is the greatest. Knowledge of sata, the truth. Gaining the truth. Abiding in the truth. That is the real siddhi. Atma jnana, that alone is the real miracle. Don't be fooled by other miracles. Unfortunately, all this, we get attracted so much. In all religions it is there. Somebody who can perform miracles, he is considered the greatest spiritual master. Happens every day. Don't fall prey to that. This Atma is ever siddhasya, is accomplished by you. It is never away from you, very close to you. In fact, close to you is not the right expression. It is you yourself. How close are you to yourself? There is no measurement for that. It is you. So, Atma Jnana will liberate you without getting any extraordinary powers. You do not have to materialize things from thin air. You don't have to cure diseases. You don't have to read minds. None of those powers. You don't need any of that. In fact, Tejo Mayananji once made a joke out of it. He said, I can walk on water. Huh? Swamiji, you can walk on water? Yeah. Get a bucket of water. Okay. Brought him a bucket of water. Throw it on the floor. And dump the water on the floor and walked on it. See, I can walk on water. That is how ridiculous these siddhis are. But people get all excited about that. Don't fall prey to that. Study the shastras. Study the scriptures properly. Understand that. Gain the knowledge. Abide in that knowledge. That is moksha. Nothing else is required for moksha liberation. If you can do that, that's the greatest miracle. That's the greatest miracle. And then what about all other miracles? All extraordinary powers which the world values, that the ignorant, immature minds, they talk so much about. A true seeker, a spiritual aspirant, true aspirant, discounts all of them, dismisses all of them. When we talk about Shankaracharya, we do not talk about his miracles, but mainly about what a great Atma Vidya Upadesha he gave. He might have performed some miracles, one or two here and there only, not every day. He didn't broadcast his miracles. No. When we talk about Ramana Maharshi, we do not talk about any miracles. We do not wonder how he underwent surgery without anesthesia. We may mention that in passing. But what we talk about is how much, what the focus on Atma Vichara we talked about. The day you are able to appreciate this kind of difference, then you become a true seeker. So Bhagavan condemns and says, Anyāḥ siddhayaḥ, all such siddhis, all those miracles, khalu, indeed, only svapnopamānāḥ. They are just dream equivalents. They are nothing but like dream. They do not have any substance in them. Just like you and I know our dream is nothing but illusion, illusory in nature, mithya only. Similarly, all these siddhis are in the realm of Maya, mithya only. The more you get attracted to them, the more you will be in samsara. Svapnopamānāḥ, similar to dreams, illusory. They don't have any substance. The illusory nature of miracle, he explains in the next line. Prabuddhasya, for the person who has woken from dream. For the waker. Svapnaḥ kathaṁ nu satyaḥ. How can the dream be real? When you wake up from the dream and you bring back what you saw, your experience in the dream, all the dream experience, completely falsified. Dream had only a temporary validity while you were in the dream, while you were a dreamer. Everything was real. But when you woke up, immediately you dismiss everything, don't you? In the same way, all the so-called siddhis, miracles, etc. are only temporary. Not only that, even though siddhas, every time they use the siddhi, they deplete their punya. They have attained those siddhis based on something they have done, karma, upasana. And they are all, there is a calculation. You've done so much, you can have these kind of siddhis, and every time you exhibit your siddhis, you've cashed. That is deducted from your account. They are finite karma phalams. They are subject to an end. They are not only mithya, they are also temporary. Subject to gradation also and degradation also. So do not be fascinated, carried away by all these siddhis. Do not waste time trying to get them. That would be the worst. The glory of self-knowledge. That is what you should appreciate. Once you gain that, there is no question of decrease. There is no question of it going away. When you give this self-knowledge to others, your knowledge, in fact, for any knowledge for that matter, when you give this knowledge, your knowledge never gets depleted. That is what is great about knowledge. Continuous use of siddhis will lead you to spiritual downfall. Even Yoga Shastra says siddhis are only obstacles to spiritual progress. Knowledge will never be depleted. It leads you to liberation. So here Ramana Maharshi says, sati sthitaḥ, a person who is sthitaḥ, established, sati, in the truth, in atmasvarūpa, one who is firm in this self-knowledge, kim punareti māyām. How can he get back into Maya? The one who has this Atma Nishtha, one who has gained this abidance, one who is established himself in the self, he abides in self-knowledge. That knowledge is always available to him. That is what is meant by you gain self-knowledge. Abidance is very natural. It's very sahaja. It's also called sahaja samadhi. It means not only forgetting that I am ever Brahman. It means only that. Such a person, māyām punareti kim. Will he ever fall back into Maya again? No. Will he come under the spell of Maya? Never. Here the word Maya is ignorance. Okay. Once knowledge is gained, there is no question of going back to ignorance. Any other wealth you give to someone, you will lose your wealth. But the wealth of knowledge you give to others, it does not decrease. That's the beauty of knowledge. Self-knowledge, the same way. In fact, when you give knowledge, it increases, the strength increases. Knowledge gained once never gets lost. So the greatest miracle is knowledge, that too self-knowledge. So Bhagavan makes this very important point. Do not look for siddhis, all these extraordinary powers. miraculous powers. Don't get fascinated by them. Don't be influenced by them. Don't try to get them. Do not respect someone as Mahatma just because such a person has siddhis. Respect Mahatmas based on their knowledge, their values. That is what is important. That is the proper attitude. What you value determines your personality. Value Mahatmas for their virtues, wisdom, knowledge, not for miraculous powers. You go around, talk to people. What they will talk about is how their guru has such miraculous powers. You hear that every day. I go to that ashram, I met him. He did this, he did that. So many people are attracted to that only. And such people, they will take you away from the spiritual path. So we have to be very careful. We have to respect, revere those Mahatmas for their knowledge. And that is what we should seek from them. Not miraculous powers. You seek knowledge, get that knowledge, be established in the truth. That is Saddarsanam. That is what is most important. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shante Shante Shanti Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi